Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks you for being here for what was a fabulous lunch. I agree. I think you all agree. A round of applause, Chef. As I'm first up this afternoon, I have the privilege and pleasure to be able to share you with that we received confirmation from the palace that we have retained our royal patronage with His Majesty King Charles remaining as our patron. An incredible honour and recognition that the hospitality and gastronomy is important to His Majesty. Now, let me hand over to John Williams for more news.
Well, hello everyone. Sorry I was a little bit late. I couldn't afford it, could I not? Okay. I can only echo Brian's words regarding the excellent lunch, although I wasn't here, and I know you've all shared it, so what an absolute pleasure. Being here today has been a special treat. But when we booked this plenary in our events calendar some time ago, we did not envisage that the timing of the lunch would work so well to our advantage. Because today, I'm delighted to confirm that Adam Byatt will be stepping up as the next chair of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts. Some of you may have already seen the news over the weekend. Give him a round of applause. He's got plenty to do. So, I will be stepping up to the role of President of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts, taking over from Brian, who will assume the role of Honorary President and the big man himself of the organisation. Going off piste a little bit here, you know, the work that he has put into this academy over the years is second to none. And certainly as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't have carried on being chairman for so long without the help and support of Brian. We had a little game, as it were. If you can't be there, I'll be there. And it seemed to work for so many years. But thank you, Brian, for all of your hard work there. I guess that you could say Adam is a protege of mine, and having held the role of chairman now for 20 years, it's time to pass on the baton. I remember distinctly when he was such a young lad, many years ago, and that serves as a testament to his character and potential. It was a typical day in Claridge's kitchen, bustling away, full of the usual activity and noise. There was this young apprentice who had just turned 16. He was new, he was eager to learn, and brimming with potential, though still a bit unsure of himself, as young apprentices often are. Suddenly, a commotion erupted in the butchery area. One of the porters, known for his antagonistic nature, was targeting our young apprentice. The atmosphere grew quite tense, and everyone around could feel the discomfort. But when I came round the corner, the young apprentice, usually quiet and reserved, although very cheeky and cocky on occasions, seemed to grow wings. He stood tall and began to speak his mind. This is in my best English, by the way. With the strength of his belied age, he told the porter exactly what he thought of him, standing up not only for himself, but also for the respect he knew he deserved. And then he ran behind me and ducked and cowered for protection. It was in that moment that I knew he was destined for great things, and today proves me right. We're embarking on a fresh horizon and a new phase at the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts. And as Brian and I step up to make room for the new generation, poised to lead, it's imperative that we progress and adapt to stay pertinent while honouring the great wisdom of the past. And we all know who they are. Lisa has done a lot of work behind the scenes to get all the ducks in a row, and she will go through some more changes with you very shortly. But in the meantime, please join me in congratulating Adam as he comes up here to say a few words. You can dash now. Well done. That's the hard bit.
Thank you, John. I'm glad I get to go second. So let's see. Do you think I can do that without a microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's try that. Let's try that. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel deeply honoured to be here today with you, and thank you so much for joining me here at Brown's. Firstly, I'd like to thank Richard Cook, Sirocco and Lydia Forte for inviting us here for this fabulous lunch at Brown's. And thank you to the team here, to Andrew, to Amit and to Sarah for their efforts in looking after us, which I'm sure you will agree have been entirely successful. Thank you, Andrew. I took the role here at Brown's back in September 2019, and like any chef in my position, I ran at the task, all guns blazing, only to be stopped in my tracks in March 2020. COVID stopped those guns blazing, but not forever. So I've only really been here for 2.5 years and had this opportunity. And as most of you will know, in hotels, 2.5 years is no time at all. But I'm immensely proud of what we've achieved here together and incredibly excited for what is to come. My route here was quite convoluted and long-winded. I took this role after cooking some dinners at Verdura in Sicily with the brilliant Tom Kitchen. I was welcomed to Brown's by Stuart Johnson, who wasn't. Stuart was one of the country's leading and most esteemed general managers. Very sadly, he is an absent friend today. Last Friday, when I was considering what I intended to say to you all, it took my memory that those times with Stuart, and at that moment I realised that on that day, last Friday, May the 17th, it would have been Stuart's birthday. He touched the lives of many in this room and in this hotel. And last Friday I sensed that perhaps my appointment also had Stuart's blessing. I'd like to think so. Brown's being family owned was a huge draw for me, but also it's a five-star hotel in Mayfair. And I must say it did feel like a bit of a homecoming for me. Taking me back to where it all began, if you like, in Mayfair. My role here is, it's a simple one on paper, but slightly more complicated in reality. It's a self-set mission to bring a complete and cohesiveness to the food and beverage offering here at Brown's, but also to have and remain a sort of sense of nostalgia and eccentricity to the overall offering here. There's two facts you might not know about my role here at Brown's and Brown's in general. My late Uncle Vic was a bellboy here in 1950, for a few years actually. And my wife, was part of the legal team that put the deal together in 2003 when the Forte family bought this iconic hotel. So perhaps it was meant to be. I know that I initially took the role for the commercial benefits, as we do, but I now know that I operate here at Browns for the sheer love of it, and for its team, its potential, and for its love, heart and soul, which is a wonderful and privileged place to be, and I appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Ollie and to Daniel for their part in organising today's event, and to thank Lisa for all she has done and will continue to do in her role as CEO of the Royal Academy. As John said, when I agreed to this plenary back in January, I had absolutely no idea that I would be standing here as the chairman of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts. It really is a wonderful, honoured coincidence. I am privileged to be taking on the role of chairman. Most of us here are members of this highly prestigious institution which helps, educates and inspires young professionals in our industry. They put their trust in us. And I'm indebted to all of you for placing your trust in me. So thank you very much indeed. In particular, I would like to thank Brian Turner, our new honorary president. I also must thank Brian for his part in Club 9, a tour de force, just like you, Brian.
He's here.
Just like you, Brian. In particular, and for your invaluable contribution, which has been nothing short of incredible. Meanwhile, I have big shoes to fill. Yes, big shoes, John. In 2004, John Williams became the executive chef of the Ritz, and in the same year, he was appointed chairman of the Academy. So he steered this mighty ship for 2 decades, and John was instrumental in shaping who we are today. He is an acknowledged statesman of our industry. And I'm proud to say that John also shaped who I am today. As I said, the Academy helps and educates and inspires young chefs. Once upon a time, I was one of those young chefs, and that's when I met John Williams. I was a teenager, and John was a little bit younger than he is today. And I was guided by John and by others who were and still are members of the Academy. Just to digress for a moment, I can still recall when I walked into Claridge's as a 15-year-old boy, meeting John for the first time. There he was in his immaculate gleaming whites. His sheer presence said it all. He was the boss, the chef. In fact, I've never called him John. To me, he's always been chef. So often when I begin to cook, I instantly am reminded of John, one of his dishes or his clever twists. The things John taught me, the advice he gave me, which I've never forgotten. He also made me laugh, and the memories continue to make me smile. I was fortunate enough to be trained in a hotel such as Claridge's, with such amazing standards and opportunities to learn as a young cook. Those days at Claridge's really were a golden era. Who knew then that I would be standing here today in front of you all, and what a testament that is to the vision of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts. 30 odd years after I joined this wonderful profession, it really does feel like a circle in my career has been completed. John is a pillar of strength in our profession. Congratulations on your new role as President of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts, and thank you in advance for your steadfast support as I navigate this new role. Yes, John, I will be calling you at night and in the morning, but I'm sure you won't mind. It will just be in the beginning, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may just pause you for a moment, I'm sure you'll all be keen to join me in raising a glass and thanking John with a toast. I'm looking forward to playing a fundamental and exciting role in this renowned organisation. It's an organisation which is in the business of helping young people in hospitality to progress in our great industry and to become the best versions of themselves through our guidance and wisdom, which we freely give. It's like a big family with lots of friendship and support, as well as plenty of trust. Of course, I do wish to make my mark on the Academy. I've been given a golden opportunity to steer it into the next leg of its journey and to help make it for the many and not the few, and to improve its impact on the wider industry. I want the Academy that I chair to be one that you will continue to be proud, an Academy which you feel passionate to engage with by association and not just for its inclusiveness. There are things I want to achieve and there are legacies that I hope to leave, which perhaps sounds a little presumptuous, but if I didn't aspire to leave a legacy, then I really shouldn't be in this role. So yes, I do want to achieve things that people notice, but perhaps that's just the chef in me. I'm aware and I am well practiced in the process of change. It matters to me that I bring everyone along with me, and I'm aware that patience will be my biggest asset. The Academy's pillars of education and sustainability exist through initiatives such as the MCA, the AA&E and Chefs Adopter School. These have been established with some of Britain's leading chefs at the helm. I could not be more proud of the team that surrounds me, and I'm looking forward to working with them all. As I touched on, I was given the opportunity, that was back in 1989. It was an opportunity which changed the trajectory of my life. This is the reason I'm so passionate about improving education for young hospitality professionals, and this will be my main area of focus. One of the greatest things about this industry, our industry, is that there's no barrier to entry, there is no glass ceiling. Anyone with the right attitude, good decision-making skills and the right mentorship can live a fulfilled and successful life in both kitchen and hospitality, and front of house, excuse me. I'm testament to that notion, and I shall always champion the progression of young people. There will be a thread of responsibility that runs through the next chapter of the Academy, and an expectation of contribution to the wider cause. I simply cannot make change without the input of our members with your vast knowledge, wisdom and experience. And it cannot continue to thrive without you or our associates and many friends. There is much to be said for Bonhomie, as every gourmet knows. I've referred to the Academy as highly prestigious, and I'm sure you would all agree that we have the finest patron in His Majesty King Charles, which was reaffirmed to us only last week, as Brian said in his announcements. We are all delighted. The King is he is dedicated to helping young people. He is an acknowledged champion of sustainability, organic produce and organic farming and gardening. The King is also a keen and knowledgeable gourmet. Some might say it is in his interest that we keep the standards high. There is an extraordinary synergy between the Academy and the King. It is not that we share mutual interests, but more that we are extraordinarily passionate about the same things. At the Academy, we are blessed to have the King as our figurehead and to have his continued future support, encouragement and commitment. As I consider the future, it does take me back to the past. I'm almost 35 years into this amazing industry. I've achieved far more than I ever could have hoped. This profession has given me everything, but I am only just getting started. And it is with this humility that I want you all to feel free to come to me with your views. I really do want to know how you feel and how we can be a better force for good. How we can further upkeep the standards of excellence in both service and in cookery. I'm eager to hear if you want to talk. So please get in touch. I've been doing lots of talking, so I want to thank you for being so kind and listening to me. And again, thank you for being here today. And in advance, may I say thank you for being there with me in the future. I shall endeavour to be there for you too. Perhaps I should finish with a toast. Perhaps be upstanding. Join me in to raise a glass to the Academy and to someone that I know would be thrilled with pride today, to Sarah Jane.
Yeah. Sarah Jane.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. I'm now going to hand over to Lisa, who's going to take you through some very interesting developments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you again, Adam, and hello everyone. And I can just about see everyone around the corner there. Before we start in with more news, I would like to thank Christopher Lewis, Associate Director of Jeroboam's, who is with us today, for their generous support of our wines with lunch. They were both delicious. I can't find... Thank you, Christopher. Thank you very much. Is it okay without the microphone? Is it? Yeah. So, in addition to retaining our royal patronage with His Majesty and Adam coming on board as our new chair, I can also announce some more changes. Lisa Goodwin-Allen, Michelin-starred chef of Northcote Hotel in Lancashire and the Stafford in London, will take up the role as our co-deputy chair in the North. With Chef Gary Jones, who's here somewhere over there, hi Gary, taking up the role as co-deputy chair in the South. So congratulations, Gary. We have Mark Flanagan, LVO, Royal Chef and Assistant to the Master of the Households Department, commencing his role as Chair of Sustainability. That's another new appointment for the Academy. We also have Neil Rippington, who's with us today, who was announced recently as Chair of Education. Phil Howard has just slipped away over here, but he, as you all know, came on board last year as our Honorary President of the Annual Awards of Excellence. Martin Nail and Hal Jones stay on board as our Chair of Kitchen for the Annual Awards of Excellence. We have a new Chair of Pastry on board in the shape of Alistair Burt, who is the Executive Chef at Harrods, coming on board as Chair of Pastry. And we have Sergio Rebecchi and Simon Gerling, who's known to most people, but new in the role as Chair of the Annual Awards of Excellence in terms of service. Then, as far as the Master of Culinary Arts goes, we have lots of MCAs in the room today. There's quite a few of you around. We have some changes there. Idris Caldora, who was previously Chair of Kitchen, steps up into the role as MCA Chair and has countless amounts of experience to do that role. And we're delighted to announce that Adam Smith from the Dorchester will take over as Chair of Kitchen for the Master of Culinary Arts. Benoit Blin and Yolandi Stanley will take over as Chair of Pastry for the Master of Culinary Arts, so thank you, Benoit. And we keep our legends in service, Silvano and Sergio, on service for the Master of Culinary Arts. So we've got a really, really exciting new team of people, senior people at the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts. So watch this space. We've got lots of things coming up in terms of the Master of Culinary Arts. The other changes that are going on, and Adam alluded to this earlier, is our focus on education. Some of you will have recently seen we have won some funding from the Savoy Educational Trust, some significant funding from the Savoy Educational Trust, to launch our new college community programme, which will supplement the work we already do with our colleges, our accredited colleges, and provide a greater number of college students with the opportunity to learn additional skills to those taught while studying by connecting them to RACA academicians and operators and a network of industry contacts, increasing the prospect of job opportunities and mentorship. The RACA College Community Programme will allow better connection with students looking for those opportunities across both front and back of house. And these will be communicated at the presentations and site visits, amplifying the variety and number of vacancies that are available across our industry. As the project develops, the team will create best practice guides to share across the community and industry. And the programme will raise awareness of the scope of opportunities and give students access to our hero members of the Academy. It will set high standards so they will see how they can develop higher level skills and gain more practical experience and an understanding of what's required for a successful career. There will also be regional sessions focusing on soft skills, such as asking the right questions, preparing for interviews, listening skills and feedback. Again, as the college community grows, there will be opportunities for students to attend recruitment days and industry events, where they will meet new mentors and peers across the sector. Importantly, it will also give college lecturers an opportunity for continuing professional development and encourage them to challenge their students to achieve their very best through competition and industry engagement. The programme started this month and will be overseen by Neil Rippington, who I'm delighted to say has joined the RACA team as College Community Programme Director. We'll work alongside each other and with Adam and the RACA trustees. Neil is also chair of our Education Committee and has a long education CV and is well versed in college practices with his previous senior experience. He's here if anyone hasn't met him yet, and we look forward to talking to you more as we move through the programme. We have some new members. I'm delighted to say we have some with us today. Adrian Matthews, who is the Executive Head Chef from the City of London Club. Where are you? Where is he? He's hiding around the corner. So say hello to Adrian. And Matt Owens, who was most recently the chair of the Craft Guild of Chefs. So welcome, Matt. Welcome to the Academy. We also have various other new members, but I won't go through all of the names now. But we also have a new associate with us today. We have Signature FSE. So welcome, Paula and the team for Signature FSE. And we've also just signed up the Scotch Beef Club, another new associate member of the Academy. So we continue to grow in terms of associates. Speaking of the Annual Awards of Excellence, Daniel and Ollie are in the thick of it with the competition heading towards the finals. On the service side, we have one final in London at Alan Ducasse at the Dorchester and another at Trump, Turnberry in Scotland. And we head to the University of West London for the kitchen finals on the 6th of June. We introduced 2 new mentor days this year, a pastry mentor day at Calabar Chocolate in Banbury and a kitchen mentor day at the Taste Lab at Classic Fine Food. Both were excellent additions to the Annual Awards of Excellence schedule, and all the entrants found them supremely beneficial. We already have 5 very talented pastry chefs confirmed as 2024 AAE achievers, and the gala dinner will be held at Claridge's on the 29th of July. As I mentioned earlier, we are also turning our attention to the Master of Culinary Arts competition, which takes place in 2026. And following some changes to the committee chairs, as I've mentioned earlier, we'll be moving quickly now to get our planning meetings in place. So there'll be more news around this in the coming weeks. Our seat at the table lunches in partnership with University of West London have now been hosted at 2 locations, the Shed in Marlow in February, and the Stafford at the Wine Cellar last month. We have held discussions around the table around building a team and inspiring them, and competitions and mentorship, and all the attendees have found them inspiring and thought-provoking. The next seat at the table is at La Chapelle on the 1st of July. Then we have one with Jose Pizarro in Bermondsey on the 8th of October, and hopefully Kanishka on the 2nd of December. These events are invitation only, and we will reach out to you all individually. There is a video from the one at the Shed on our website if you are interested. And finally, I'd like to remind you all of our upcoming general meeting on the 16th of September at the Dorchester. You can register via the website, and to announce also that we're planning another plenary in November, and I can confirm that we have got confirmation that we will be going to the Pan Pacific, which is excellent. I'm now going to hand you over to Helena for an Adopt a School update, and I'll come back afterwards, and if there's time we can do a Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Just a quick update from Adopt a School. So for those of you that might be new to the Academy, the Adopt a School Trust is a national charity that delivers food education to mainly primary school children, but we also work in hospital schools, special educational needs schools, we work with youth clubs, holiday clubs, food festivals, and we also deliver to parents where possible. So the aim of Adopt a School is to instill vital life skills that we know children just aren't getting without us, and to really make a difference to young lives at quite an impressionable age. So we're talking 9, 10, 11 years old. So far this academic year, the Adopt a School team of 6, Ashley Marsh, Alice McKinnon, Idris Caldora, James Holden, John McManus and Ibrahim Balal, along with our fantastic brigade of over 140 Adopt a School volunteers, some of whom are in this room, but also from the wider hospitality industry. They've delivered almost 400 Adopt a School sessions in schools to over 12,000 children and some parents across the country, and there's still a few months to go before the summer holidays, so we're doing well. We've also delivered 17 Chef on the Farm sessions around the country, the majority in partnership with Table Talk Foundation in Sussex, using the state-of-the-art facilities and kitchen that we raised funds for together at Plumpton Agricultural College. We know the Adopt a School programme makes a difference by the fantastic feedback we've received so far this year from schools who rate the programme as excellent and good, and all would recommend us. One school said, "I think that this programme should be in all schools. The programme was excellent, well delivered and resourced throughout. The pupils did not want this to end." So thank you to everyone who supports Adopt a School in any way, especially our sponsors, Savoy Educational Trust, Worshipful Company of Cooks, Table Talk Foundation, University College Birmingham and University of West London, without whom we simply would not exist. Briefly on to fundraising. Last Friday night, we held our annual Take 3 Colleges dinner at the RAC, with thanks to Matthew Marshall and Ben Geelan and the management team at the RAC. Martin Nail from the Dorchester, Elliot Plimmer from the Royal Overseas League and Iago Duemo from the Corinthia, who were cooking alongside students from our partner colleges, and we raised over £22,000 for Adopt a School. And we already have a date for your diaries for next year, which is the 16th of May. But before then, we're holding our Northern Take 6 colleges on Friday the 4th of October at the Hilton Liverpool City Centre. We have a fantastic lineup and it's been a lot of fun in the past, so please look out for details. But for now, that's all from us, and thank you again to everybody who supports us.
Any questions that they'd like to ask any of us? Questions they'd like to ask Brian or John or our new chair? Anybody? There must be a question, surely.
Keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. Does everyone feel that they're being kept engaged in the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts? What could we do better? Tell me what we could do better. Nothing? Steph?
Sorry, Lisa.
Go on, Steph.
For the front of house, if there's an Adopt a School programme for front of house, I'd really like to know more about that. And I think there's a lot of us academicians that are front of house led that could really help, just not on the chef side.
Yeah.
We used to do it. I don't know if you know, but we used to do it. We used to do it.
Helena's nodding furiously.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So maybe more about that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
More information on when the next plenary is going to be.
Okay, so all of the plenary dates are on our website. So, and we tell you them every single newsletter. but
I get that. Because some of us missed out on several things.
I mean, I have to say our last 2 or 3 plenaries have been sold out very quickly.
Yeah, very
quickly.
Like the day they were released.
Correct. Yeah. And
we're on it, Tony.
Yeah, see, I knew once one person started talking, we'd get some interaction. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we're limited to places. We were not planning to have another plenary this year, but at the last management committee meeting, we discussed it and we've slotted in another plenary. So, you know, we are listening to feedback, and if ever there's anything like that. So we've got an AGM in September, and then we've got another plenary in November. So we'll have had 4 plenaries by the end of the year. Yeah.
I wanted to suggest that whether we could circulate who is going to be attending a meeting.
Before each plenary?
So we know who we're going to meet.
We can, as long as you accept that most of those names will change because we get told a day before that people aren't coming. Or the morning of. We can. I mean, we probably have a confirmed guest list, 90% confirmed, probably a week before.
Possibly to circulate after the event.
We can certainly circulate it after. Yeah. We wouldn't be able to share.
So we know who we've met.
Yeah. We wouldn't be able to share contact details, but once our directory is online, you will be able to access those contact details anyway, because you'll all have a
meet so
password.
many people.
Yeah.
And sometimes can't remember possibly who you met.
Sure.
Is the AGM going to be number dependent as well?
Daniel, I'm not sure how many numbers we've got confirmed for the AGM. They've hosted the AGM for us before.
We're having a meeting very soon
Yes.
to discuss exactly the number, the limits we have, but I believe it's not larger than it does a year, so we should be okay. 70 to 100, I would imagine.
Di, do you mean the number of tickets you can book per person?
Oh, well, I'm hoping that you're going to say that that's only one
Right.
to start
Okay.
off with.
Okay.
Surely an AGM to everybody.
Everybody, it's open to everybody that's a member.
Yes.
You shouldn't be looking for somebody else.
It's only for membership.
Yes.
And normally speaking, we will get up to 100 people.
Yeah. We've got a meeting, Daniel and I have got a meeting with them next week to talk through the numbers.
Is the timing of that confirmed? Because it's not been on the newsletters, the actual time, just the dates.
My understanding is that it's the normal timing, whatever. There wasn't an AGM last year, so I haven't been at.
3:30.
The plan is to keep it to the afternoon session. Yeah. Any questions from this side?
Come on, wake up.
Yes.
I am in charge.
Sorry, Ollie, our new membership secretary, wants to say a few words.
Yeah, since I took over in September, I've been in charge of looking after the newsletter, and I've really enjoyed sharing more stories and updates from all of our members. So I would like to. There is a bit of a note at the end of the newsletter, but I would like to make sure that if there are any updates from any of our members, I want to be able to really champion everybody. So if you could all share any kind of update, any kind of news with me, I'm really, really happy to share it with the members. So if you could get in contact, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Yes.
Is there a way how we remember Albert Roux and Michel Roux and Michel Bourdin?
How we remember those that have helped us build the academy, yeah. We've talked around it, haven't we, many, many times. Again, we'd welcome any suggestions as to how we might do that. We are talking about doing it's our 45th anniversary next year, and it's a Doctor School's 35th anniversary next year. And we've just launched this new college community programme. So there is an intention to do something together next year. So I think it will give us an opportunity.
I think with regards to the Room family, we're guided by them because they want to actually take care of how we will celebrate it. We have spoke to them, but they want to do something themselves. It's not that we shouldn't do anything, but I just want to understand that we are very much aware of all of those people, Richard Shepherd, Sarah, you know, Albert, Michelle,
Very
and
important.
Michelle.
Very important.
No, it is very, very important indeed. We would not be where we are today without all of them. And they were very, very special people to the Academy, and we are endeavouring to try and actually do something. We have a couple of ideas for Sarah, and then it's basically the rest of them that we've actually got to be fair with and even-handed with.
I have to apologize to Brian not to mention Richard Shepherd.
I'll mention Richard Shepherd whenever you forget.
Thank you.
Maybe call the certificate, commission code and certificate or something like that.
It's constantly on the agenda. Tony?
Something like, we have the fellowships back, don't we, at, is it Moe now?
Yeah.
Perhaps we could do similar for Club 9, the original members.
Yeah,
Perhaps
we
that
can
might be an
certainly
idea.
take it to the table.
Might I suggest anybody?
Can you all hear?
Anybody
Just
else
about.
brings
Struggling.
Hang on.
a really good idea? Contact the office.
Yeah.
And then the office will circulate the trustees.
Yeah, if anybody has an idea as to what we should do with regards to those people mentioned, do just drop me a line, please. I'd appreciate that. Any more comments? No? You all just want to talk to each other? Yeah, okay. I'll leave you alone. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you very much.